Welcome everyone to the next episode of the ACR Game Plan. Here we are in the third anniversary. Happy anniversary, everyone. I hope you've been having a fun time with these all-city tracks and a very unique tour. Welcome, Flo. Really good to see you, my friend. I know that you've got a lot on this weekend, so I really appreciate you making time for this episode. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Currently at the conference, and happy that I can still make it. Find some time to record the game plan.
Awesome, man. And welcome. We've got a very special guest today. Welcome, Larry98. So good to have you on. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm very excited to finally be able to release my sheet and talk a bit about it and finally be able to join. Yeah.
That's right. We've got a very exciting episode ahead. Larry has been doing unbelievable amount of hours behind the scenes working on his very special sheet, which does a whole bunch of exciting things, which we're going to unpack today. How many hours would you say you've worked on this, Larry?
So I would say like 300 hours or something like that since May, maybe. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow, man. And this is going to be a resource which comes out to the community launching today, I believe. So really excited for you and for the community. So let's get stuck into it today. We're abridging this series a little bit, guys. So as we go through, hoping to reduce the time down a little bit. So we're aiming for around about under an hour for this podcast. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's get stuck in. And we're going to start off just briefly touching on the ACR projections for this tour. So as we can see, it's a much lower ACR projection than we've typically been seeing. Top 10 usually over 2 million. When I say usually, for the last few tours. Top 100 usually over 1.6, would we say, guys? 1.5, 1.6. And then top 1,000, somewhere around that 1.4. So much lower projections this tour. So it could be a really interesting tour. Let us know if you're going for it. I know we've in our server, we've got Captain Evan. Shout out to you, dude, who's going to make a run at top 100 for the first time. Good luck, man. I hope it really works out for you. And let us know if you're going for top 100 or top 1,000 or what your goals are this tour. What about you guys? Probably a little bit too much on in personal life to go for ACR this tour, or will it just be a casual fun grind?
I would just go for top 1,000 like I always do, because with my loadout it's not really a challenge. Yeah,
not too hard.
busy with sheet work. I would better spend time on sheet work than on playing the game actually.
Yeah, you got to remember to actually play the game, eh? What about you, Flo?
Yeah, same here. So probably I should make top 1,000, but definitely next week. I won't grind. Maybe some ranked tracks this week, but that's it.
Excellent. So speaking of ranked, we're just going to go into all of the new courses this tour. We've got something quite unique happening with two new sets of city courses, Sydney Sprint 3, 3R and 3T, and then we've also got Berlin Byways 3, 3T and 3R as well. And then we've also got Amsterdam Drift 2RT and Singapore Speedway 2RT. So 8 brand new courses, which is absolutely crazy. What we can see is Nintendo's balanced that out a little bit with massively packed top shelves. So you wouldn't think looking at that top shelf that it's a new variant, but when it's a city and when it's so many new courses in the same tour, they tend to buff more items. So we can see, especially, Sydney Sprint 3R there, which I don't believe is in ranked, even got a normal buff for Cooper Trooper, which is absolutely hilarious. I think that's his first top shelf in a long time. It kind of makes sense, little turtle boy on Sydney Sprint. I love it. It's great. But yeah, so pretty packed top shelves. So we're not going to spend too much time looking at that. But Sydney Sprint 3, we've got Coinbox and Boomerang. Sydney Sprint 3R, we've got Lucky 7, Boomerang, and Coinbox. Sydney Sprint 3 is in ranked. So having Yoshi Kangaroo is a massive boon for your account if you've already invested in him. Then we've got Sydney Sprint 3T with an absolutely stacked top shelf. Even King Boo got a buff. So this is the one that's not in ranked. Quite an interesting top shelf there. Some overlap with some coin boxes. And it's only got coin box. So it's a coin box, I guess, exclusive there. And then we've got Berlin Byways 3T, maybe the most interesting top shelf that we've had for drivers, especially this tour, which has Luigi Lederhausen, who was my first rear high-end driver. But then it's got the only plus skill being Luigi Knight, which is quite interesting. However, it's in the Metal Mario Cup, which is ranked week 2, which means you're probably using Metal Mario. Are you guys using Metal Mario too, or did you invest into Luigi Knight?
No, I also use Metal Mario.
Yeah, we also have him at level 7 double cap, which is a shame, but yeah, I will be using Metal Mario.
Yeah, I think I've got Metal Mario at level 6 without any cap, and that's the only driver I think I have like that, maybe apart from Peach Head. So yeah, so that's ranked week 2, Berlin Byways 3T. The standard Berlin Byways 3 has a massively stacked top shelf, but interestingly, barely any plus skills. We've only got the Bronze Me and Charging Chuck, so quite an interesting top shelf there. Am I missing one, or is that? Yeah, I think that's it. So it could be quite interesting what you're using there, guys. And then we've got Berlin Byways 3R, which is another buff for Pauline Party Time. People say she's dead, but she comes back with a new buff every tour, even if it's just for ACR. You know, if you're an ACR player like me, you have level 7 double capped Pauline Party Time, you will be loving life because she's a higher level than every single other driver on that top shelf for me. She's coin box and she's got a big hitbox as well. So large coin box driver that you've already invested into, you haven't spent a ticket on in a year, maybe 2 years. That's really great. All right, and then carrying on, we've just got so many courses this tour, guys. We've got Singapore Speedway 2RT and Amsterdam Drift 2RT. Again, pretty stacked top shelves. The one I was pretty stoked about was the Singapore Speedway 2RT, very similar to the 2T variant that we had in the Ocean Tour. The difference being it's got more ramps, I guess. And in terms of the buffs, it's almost the same drivers. I think Daisy Tidress and Luigi Vacation both got the Singapore Speedway 2T as well. So very similar top shelf there. We've got Mario King at level 8. And of course, needs to be mentioned, White Tanuki Mario, who I'll be using, having fun with Giant Banana in ranked week 1. And then Amsterdam Drift 2RT. Do you guys know if this course in ranked week 2? I can't remember off the top of my head. Someone check on their phone.
That is in week 2.
That's week 2 ranked. Cool. So again, yeah, some Giant Banana options in there. Rosalina Volendab, so lots of great options there, and Pinja for those who invested in him. So lots of interesting courses, lots of interesting top shelves. We'll get into that and dive into some of those buffs a little bit later on. But right now, we're going to hand it over to Larry to spend some time looking at his new resource. Really excited to learn all about it. For me, I'm still pretty much a noob when it comes to your sheet, Larry, so I might ask lots of questions. So let's get stuck in and I'll hand it right over to you.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm very excited to talk about the sheet. Tabor retired, and so Statford was searching for a new data guru. So he asked on Statford server about who wants to do it, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing basically sheet work since the Sunset Tour. It started very simple. I just needed a player level sheet to write down the tracks I grinded, and then later I used like a sheet to keep track of my loadouts, and then it got more and more, a base point sheet and stuff like that. And then in May I really started making the sheets so that it's that the public can use it at one point here. And I wanted to use a lot of table sheets, continue to use, but I redid them because I want to have them like automatic and that they look to make them my own, so that it's not just copy and paste and maybe changing the color, so that it's really like unique things. Yeah. So on this slide you can see those are 5 different sheets, just some things Tabor was always keeping track of. I just continued that and adding some pictures. Cups used in Rank Cup, courses used in Mario Kart, all bonus challenges, and then on the tracks, the item boxes, the dash panels, the jump boost, and the obtainable coins. Like you can see an overview, like how much they are, and on the left you can see like in which tour they were, and yeah. And on the next slide, there are two another things. There is the Tabor was always keeping track of the potential limit break courses, so I'm also continuing that. I just added the pictures so that it looks better, and also made it so that it's using like I said I did already before some sheets, so I had the data, the war data a little bit different, so I always had to change it so that it's And then there's all what I did like a few weeks ago was like the last appearance, because people are like saying like, oh, Dino Jungle hasn't come back since I don't know how many weeks. So I was like, I just do that also, and then we can see that SNS Mario Circuit 1 hasn't appeared since 36 weeks. Yeah, so. And then I also did it because the NR and Ts are always together, and then I also did the RT. So since I think it says 46
It's
weeks,
crazy.
the SNS Rainbow World RT hasn't come to the game. Yeah. And those sheets so far all automatic generated, so I don't have to even bother anything at the tour. I just do my regular sheet update, which maybe takes like an hour for everything, and then those stuff will be automatic calculated. Yeah.
It really illustrates how RT courses come back a lot less often and therefore are less valuable from an ACR perspective. And as well as you can see some of the older ones on the left there, like even the normal Rock Mountain. The last time it came back was Sky Tour, which is a long time ago now. So maybe not worrying too much about your loadouts there. It's sad to see Waluigi Pinball on that list. I miss that course. I love that course. So I know some people don't like it, but I absolutely love it. Cool. All right. Next, move on to the next slide.
On the next slide, so those are things which people know from the rundown, or I kept posting them on the ACR bot server, and then it was posted on all the servers. So that's basically the level unlocks for the rank up tracks. I chose the Bowser tour because this tour there I think are only 2 level unlocks, so it would look a little bit boring when I talk about it. And at the top, you can see there's select tour. So there you can, so if you created a copy of the sheet, you can select the tour, and then you can, if you want to know the level unlocks for, I don't know, the Sunset Tour or something like that, you will see the level unlocks for the Sunset Tour. So
awesome.
But one thing which might be missing are the pictures, because I still haven't. But because the thing is I write down the tracks every tour, and then at the end I also have to write down which driver is on the picture. So doing that for like 79 tours. I think only the last 10 have pictures, but that's still a thing which I will do then. So if like crazy people, I don't know, want to know the level unlocks for like a tour which is like 1.5 years ago, then they can see it. Yeah.
That's amazing. I might have to go check out what my ranked loadouts looks like back in year 1 when I wasn't playing. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then moving on.
And that's also a thing which is known from the rundown, and I also posted everywhere basically always. That's the multiple ranked and multiple ACR. I only put it one screenshot because the sheet is basically, there are 2 sheets, but under the hood they are the same. So at the top you can also select the tour and also the mode. Like if you select, you can select between rank up and ACR. But I also already did it for you so that you don't have to do it for the sheet every time you want to switch, because it maybe takes a bit to load the stuff. And then there's also the one number of uses, so you can like for rank up its default is 2 used, and for ACR it's like usually so that it fits on a picture. But if you created a sheet, if you created a copy of the sheet, you can also say like number of use 1 time or 2 times or 10 times, and then it will change. And that also includes the cup boost, the spotlight boost, the me boost, and the
you're going to have to go remove those all next tour, aren't you?
No, the thing is, I mean, like Startfit was like, now you have much less time for the boost, but those are also things which I did, which are fully automatic. So nice. I just have to write down on the sheet like what can get buffed, and since I write down the week 1 and week 2 pipe stuff anyways, it's just do it automatic. But I just have to remember that I have to.
It's like a V8, you know. It's got power under the hood. Nice.
So I just always have to remember that I use the don't forget the Mies and this tour, not they can rock it, because that's also boosted on the first track of each cup, and then the week 1 and week 2. Yeah, like one time I forgot it. I was like, damn. And yeah, and on
you
that
forgot
also,
one thing amongst all of this data. Oh no.
and since it takes, like, if I start there's the same sheet hidden on my sheet, but that is used to generate the stuff, because that takes, like, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes until the formulas are, and then I just paste it on another sheet, so that if you select the tour at the top, then it will be loading, like, I don't know, few seconds just. And I also did it so in case someone wants to know the all cup ranking, the multiple used all cup ranking or rank cup from the New York tour, I generated all the data for all 79 tours. So.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Wow.
And
dude.
that's like 1,100 rows every tour, like, around. So that's a lot of rows. Yeah,
that is amazing. Wow. All right, are we moving to the
time
next?
to move to the next one? Yeah.
Cool. Here we go.
Otherwise, it will be like a 5-hour episode.
Yeah, I said abridged, not length, like not longer.
So yeah, this was a sheet I created already in 2020 at the start. That was the sheet I kept track of my own loadouts, like my levels and stuff like that. Actually, just for this recording, I updated today all the because they were, like, I don't know, months old. Where I didn't update it. Yeah. So that's there is an option to import your loadout, like on BAM and GURPS, and the other functions also on ticket time, and it has the same format, so you can import it on another sheet, the import and export sheet, and then you see here basically an overview of your account.
It's amazing.
You can see on the top left, you can see the it's very hard to max out daily selects with level 8, but there you can basically see, like, okay, now on my account I have everything maxed daily select, so it shows always 0. But if we look at, for example, the third, there are the driver, the normal, super, and high end. So if we look at high end, it says 9 and then 68. So that means there are still 9 high end drivers not maxed out, and to max them out, you need 68 tickets.
Oh my gosh.
And then it shows, like, from daily selects from the pipe, but with the pipe it doesn't count the daily selects, and then the other ones which are not in the pipe and not daily select, and then it shows all. So to max out all the high-end gliders, those are 145 gliders. I need 2,603 high-end glider tickets.
Basically, it's impossible. Yeah. And you wouldn't want to invest in those items anyway. That's incredible, dude. And I can see you need to start investing in some of those giant banana drivers to move them up the list to level 8.
Yeah. And and then on the another, I just did at the high end. So looking at the high end, because high ends are those who matters, like supers and normals are not really that useful. Really. So, like, to have an overview of your not owned things, and then until level 8. Yeah. And then also the plus skill driver to see, like, coin box, boomerang, giant banana, and lucky 7.
That's awesome, man. Because in our head, we're kind of all going through that process of trying to move those coin boxes further down that list. And same with, your boomerangs and your other plus skills as well. So, yeah, really quite interesting. All right, shall we move to the next one?
Yeah.
All right.
So now this one is our sheet, the coverage and buff potential. You can select the driver, like you can see the Rosalina Wollendom. You can click on that, and then you can select cards, gliders, or drivers. And then you can always see, like, the number of retro tracks, the number of nitro tracks. When it was added to the tour, then you can see the retro tracks, the retro RT tracks, and the nitro tracks. And you can also see, like, is it a coin box track? Is it a boomerang, giant banana, or lucky 7 track? So, Then there's the overlap. Like in the middle, there's the overlap. You can select at the top the number of all overlaps you want to see. Like now it shows 4 or higher, just so that it fits on the picture, because with 3 it's a lot. And then you can also see the buff potential. So Rosalina, one of them can still see 55 non-nitro tracks. So and then it shows first the N, R, and T tracks. So you have to multiply them by 3, then you see the RT tracks, and then you see the nitro tracks, which is like a very long list. Like there are still, I don't know, a lot which are not on the picture, but yeah.
Yeah,
and those are also things which are done automatic, so I also don't have to bother really about that anytime. Yeah.
I really like this overview. You know, if you're still considering investing into Rosalina Volendam, like me, I've still got her at level 1 on both accounts. Then, you know, you can look at what are the ones that could be valuable right now. Like I see Toad Circuit T, that's probably a good one. But then you can also look over at the overlaps, like Tanuki Rosalina. I haven't invested in her. Pretty much no one on that list have I invested to a high level apart from Luigi Vacation. And then the buff potential, retro, NR&T, that's actually quite a finite list. And I could look at those and go, okay, do I have good loadouts already here on these courses? Is it worth investing in her now, or should I go with another option? So it's a really good overview. I really like this slide. Nice work, man. It's very useful. Cool.
And now comes the highlight. Yeah, I think the next slide.
Awesome.
Is
all
it
right.
already?
Yeah, and I really like this too.
So that's like the biggest project from the whole sheet. I think I spent on this sheet alone, I don't know, 60, 70 hours, I don't know. And like there will be like a surprise moment, like for those who never use the sheet. So yeah, every time when StatFit was talking about a new plus skill driver or Coinbox driver, they always looked at what are the overlaps. So I was like the usually like it was like looking at every track, looking at is there a Coinbox driver, is there not a Coinbox driver, and it was like I can also do that automatic. And then I had like a version which, yeah, but from the design it didn't look good, so I completely redid it, and then I came with this thing here. And so basically you can select at the top the driver, or there's also a Kart sheet, but that's currently in beta version because I still have to do something, and the glider will also coming at one point. So but yeah, you can so now we're talking just about driver, like as an example. So you can select the driver at the top, and then it will show all the tracks it has. And I wanted to make it so that it looks like in the game, so I choose like blue color. And then you can toggle off and on the nitro tracks. You can make it that the level unlocks are at the bottom or at the top. And then you can select with what do you want to have the overlaps. Like, do you want to have the plus skill driver? Do you just want the Coinbox overlap, the boomerang, the giant banana, or the lucky 7 overlap? And at the top, and then it will just change depending on that. And at the top you can limit the selection at the top if you want to have like a list of all the drivers, or if you just want to, having a few of them. And there's also a hidden setting for Draco. So if you talk, that was like I was working on it, and then I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do that. So if you toggle on the hidden settings, the show overlaps will have like overlaps with Mushroom Legacy. So then you can see like the overlaps with Mushroom Legacy. And my goal is still that I want to make the sheet so flexible so that people can, maybe, I don't know, if they want like a Mario and Luigi gang, so that they just
let's go
see them, so that they can, but that's still in work, so that will still take a while to have that. And if you if you select a boomerang driver, you can there is another option which is show overlaps, and then you can see the middle shelf Coinbox drivers. Oh yeah, and then there is
go ahead.
And then there is the show your own loadout, which is like that was the biggest project. That was what took the most of the time. So if we're now going to the next slide, then we just change the show your loadout from no to yes, and then we can see your own loadout, and it takes the one from we saw them earlier, the item stats from that sheet, your loadout, and then you can basically see like on every track which driver are you using. Those are sorted by the best option, and that is like in the background a very difficult process, because unlike if you do like a website, you can easily make it so that it's like the frame pictures are basically just the driver, the background, the foreground, and then you also see the item, the level, and the cap. But since we are not on a website, we cannot simply overlap them depending on it. So I had to create for every possible combination a different picture. But luckily I'm doing that with a script. So for the normal not me's, it's basically just from level 1 to level 8, and then also capped, once capped, two times capped, and 3 times capped, and then so that's 32 versions per driver. But then there are the me's. So for the me's alone, I need 808 pictures for each me, and that's and I maybe need more in the future, because mine only go to 1,800, so maybe we go to 2,000, and I even have to make more of those pictures.
Wow.
And then there's also the thing that sometimes it's a level 8 unlock or level 6 or level 3 unlock. So every picture, every of the 32 or 808 also has a level 3, level 6, and level 8 unlock picture. And then, so that's from the Mies, it's like 2,424 just for the unlocks for one me. So in total, if you're using the sheet in the background, there are like 175,000 pictures. And that's like 40 gigabyte on the Google Drive. So I even had my Google Drive space was full, so I even had to switch to so that I can store more pictures there. Yeah. And every two, it's like, it takes so long to upload them, and yeah. but I think it's worth it, and to not make it so that the sheet always has to load all the pictures. There is just the ID of the picture is stored on my sheet, and when you select, then it loads the ID, and then it creates, and then it just shows the picture. Otherwise, the sheet would crash.
It would not run. No.
But
wow, man!
That's like
you've just blown my mind. Are we going to have to start taking donations to help pay for your Google Drive storage?
Maybe that's just I think like $2 a month. So
yeah. Oh, okay.
Or maybe we need to help. Compared what I waste on my Kart.
yeah. Or we're going to have to start paying for you to have a better internet connection for all the uploads.
That's impossible in Germany.
Yeah, wow. Flo, I'd love your thoughts as well as we go through this, but thanks for taking us through. It's I hope everyone who's watching got a lot out of that. I know that when a new sheet like this comes up, part of me goes, oh, this is cool, and another part of me goes, oh, this is a little bit overwhelming, I don't know where to start. But I think even just this one function or the previous function as well, really highlighting into one item is really cool. At a moment's glance, with looking at this image with Daisy Tidress, it helps me to kind of justify, and even more so if I had my loadouts on there, but they're very similar to yours, Larry. It helps me to justify why I haven't actually invested into Daisy Tidress or even pulled for her, because almost every single one of her course overlaps or I've already got a high level driver on pretty much every single one of those courses anyway. So I would be having to take her to probably level 7 double or triple cap to even get value back out of Daisy Titress in particular. So yeah, it's really useful. I know that I do something very similar with the BAM and GURBS, but this is much more visual, and it's much easier just to see everything in one go, and especially with sharing that with the community. I'm really, in particular, I've been excited for the karts and the gliders, to seeing the overlaps, because overlap is a huge thing, especially with the gliders concern. So I'm really excited for that to come out. So this is an exciting week with that coming out of a beta phase, ready to release, and to get much more feedback from the community. And I hope it really helps people. Flo, did you want to add anything on any of this?
Sure thing, yeah. So we can also probably go to the next slide as well, because we have another screenshot from Larry's sheet as well.
Cool.
Basically, an example of using the sheet.
So we're going to look at King Mario's overlaps and everything. But just before we do that, Larry, did you want to mention now how the sheet's going to kind of roll out and how people are going to get access to the information?
Yeah, sure. So I will post it on the ACR bot server, and then it will be basically posted on all the servers. So I think almost every Mario Kart server, which is a little bit bigger, has a channel where all the stuff get posted usually. So you will also find my sheet there. Yeah. And cool. I'm also thinking about opening my sheet server, so that for support and stuff like that, to have in one place. Before it was just used to get the rundown and stuff ready in a private channel and for the beta test. But maybe maybe I will open it, so that's but those things will be then explained on my sheet directly. Yeah.
Fantastic. So if you're in our server, guys, you can check out the ACR resources channel, and under that, everything as it comes out from Larry will be automatically posted there. So get involved, try it out. It's just as simple. Now you can copy and paste your loadout from the BGR into ticket time and into Larry's sheet as well. So it all integrates. We're working together as a community to make sure that everyone can access the information they need to make wise decisions with their tickets. So speaking of which, and rubies, by the way, speaking of which, let's talk about making good decisions with your rubies and tickets. Guys, how are we feeling? Mario King. I just hate that it wasn't King Mario. Really, Nintendo? Could it not be King Mario? It has to be Mario bracket King. This is just, for people who English is your first language, that's just why? Why? I'm not going to call him Mario King. I'm going to call him King Mario. Full stop. That's it. But we've got a pretty interesting situation here. I know there's been a lot of talk about in the community about the pipes, and on the next slide, Flo will take us through some of the odds to pull for him, which is going to be a little bit of a cautionary tale. But he's starting out with all city value. He's starting out in a non-spotlight pipe with 15 other Marios. It's really interesting. I'll say it that way, without trying to get too negative about the whole situation, but it's not a good situation. It is pretty disappointing for such a kind of a ruby grab from the players, where we thought Nintendo might be trying to clean up their act a bit, but here we are. We're in a situation that a lot of people, I've already heard of people in the community spending 500 to 1,000 rubies and not getting him at all. The rest of the pipe's very interesting. But in terms of his starting value, it's all cities. He's got some ranked appearances here and there, but really not that interesting. Even looking at his starting coverage, for me, there's almost no course that I don't already have a high-level driver. In fact, I don't think there's a single one. So, from a starting value, ranked in ACR, it's not even really worth it for me. What about you guys? What are your thoughts on his starting value? Flo?
I can start. Okay, yeah. So starting value, of course, all city is not that great. But there were also people comparing it with the Rosalina Chef, who also had the completely city starting track selection, and she was getting better. I think she has now 14 non-city tracks, which is decent, and also the selection, she got some pretty new tracks or hard to cover tracks. So I can see this. I expect the same thing for Mario King, especially because all this condition is not a spotlight. He is really, they're bad odds, as we will see in the next slides, to obtain him at all. At the same time, it's during the anniversary, so I could see to be him something special. And also there are the shop changes just in the next tour, so it would be the time for Nintendo to release another good character, and then give him some nice buffs until they release maybe the next combo just in the next year, something like that, because they will now be buyable instead of pullable, and this one is hard to get instead of whatever price they put in the shop. So that's why I think he will be valuable, but of course the starting selection is it's difficult to determine whether it's valuable for your account or not.
Yeah. Any thoughts from you, Larry, on his starting value and his potential future value?
So yeah, we have to see, like, but starting value with like 10 city tracks is like it takes some time before the retro tracks even overtake the city tracks. And then, well, what I also noticed in general, like, since we have the level 8 unlock, we basically have in our city tour, we have even one more city track course. Like if it's was just level 7, then when they did the level 8, then they at least could have maybe gotten another track. And if it's all cities, also the level unlocks, then it's like you don't really unlock them, or just like, oh, let's take them to level 6, cause for the unlock cost you probably won't see the track in like, maybe see the track first in like two years. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but
great point. Yeah, it makes it rough with the level 8 unlock being not good.
And then and then also the overlaps, with like already good plus good driver. That's also boring. Yeah. But yeah, we will see, like, but yeah, and not a good start. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to even make an evaluation, right? Because one part of me wants to say, everything we're saying, well, he's, his conditions mean he will be valuable, he will be rare, and because the pipes are going away, and the rhythm that we're used to of, even recently, I would say don't pull for gold charging Chuck because he'll come back quickly. But here now, do we know that for sure with the pipes going away? There's every chance that Nintendo starts to make drivers and items just more rare, because as soon as they come back in the spotlight, you can just purchase them. So I truly believe they're going to change up the rhythm of how they do that. But then at the same time, they could be messing with us. They could bring him back next week in the token shop and give him away for free, for all we know. Of course, that's not going to happen, but, it could. Nintendo can do whatever they want, and we will find out. And there'll be people who will be very upset when he does come back. My prediction would be the earliest he'll come back would be Christmas, probably not till next year. Maybe, who knows, Easter or something like that next year, who knows. But I think he'll come back for a special occasion, and in the interim he could get good value. I think the one thing that's going to keep me out of this pipe is gold charging Chuck, who he's already got some great starting value and a couple of buffs which are useful for me. If I was to take him to level 8 triple cap right now, he would be a very, very strong driver already, even if he gets no more buffs on my inventory. So, for me, that's something that's going to keep me away from Mario King. If this was gold charging Chuck, then he would not be as useful, and I'd probably have stayed out. But because, we've already got someone who's got all of that retro buffs, it makes it more viable. Those are my thoughts, but let us know what you're doing in terms of the pipes in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And Flo, you're going to take us through some of the odds to pull for King Mario. Let's go.
So if you haven't decided yet, then maybe this is the chance to get a feeling if it's worth it for you or not. Of course, in combination with what we have talked also about at the previous slide. But just to let you know how it could work. So of course there have been some first estimates at the very first day that were assuming that you fully drain the pipe, and then you have I don't remember exactly, but I think like a 38% chance that you obtain in the very first pipe drain, and then it increases up to 81% if you do 4 full pipe drains. But of course that's not the optimal pipe pulling strategy. So you can you can do it a little bit differently, and the optimal way I found by running some simulations on different pipe pulling strategies is that you start with 4 singles and then continue with tenors, and since it's only drivers as high ends in this pipe, you just stop whenever you beat the odds. So if you have any high ends in your singles, then of course you directly reset and begin from new and start again with your 4 singles. And if you don't, then you just continue with tenors, and then if you get in the first tenor, of course, 2 drivers, then you already beat the odds again, and you can reset. And if it's just 1 or no driver, then you continue, and so on. So yeah, that's the basic strategy as always. But yeah, you can slightly improve your chances if you start with those singles and then go over to tenors. And just to get a feeling how many rubies you need to increase your chance by doing these optimal strategies, yeah, if you have, for example, 450 rubies, which is equal to a fully pipe drain of 100 pipe, you have a 64% chance to obtain Mario, which is not that bad, but of course it's not closely guaranteed.
Not a guarantee.
So yeah, it's 1/3 of the chance that you don't get him, and you wasted 450 rubies, and you could at the same time easily get, for example, Luigi Vacation, Yoshi Kangaroo, and forgot who's the Mario Hakama, who are in the first pipe, just as a comparison. And it can of course even get worse, as you can see. So for 900 rubies, by doing this optimal strategy, you can even increase it from 81 to 87%. And yeah, so overall, the average cost to obtain Mario King is 450 rubies. So if every one of us would pull them, then the average of all players would be 450. Some will be lucky and spend less than 100 rubies, and others will even need more than 1,000 if you're very unlucky, which is absolutely possible just because you have 50 Marios. Mario King is one of them. Of course, the same holds if you want to go for any other specific Mario, like maybe Satellaview or something like that. So yeah, really take into account that risk. On the other hand, it's a Coinbox driver. It will surely get his value. So it's up to you how many rubies you have, how easily you will get more rubies in the future. So yeah.
Are you usually going into this pipe flow, or are you staying out like
I already went into the pipe, and I was lucky. I got them in 165 rubies I spent, which was 4 singles, 3 tenors, reset, 2 singles, and then it was... And it really started bad because I got 2 Mario Huppies, which is probably the worst Mario of all in this pipe, and I was already a little bit frustrated, but that's the point. You have to
really set a budget, right?
Yeah, you set some budget, and then yeah, you're lucky or you're not, but yeah, just keep in mind what you are doing with your rubies there. That's why I created this table as a little help.
Congratulations. I think, yeah, it's dangerous seeing all these people sharing that they got them in their first or second tenor in Discord. So, yeah, don't get too upset by that. And Larry, have you already pulled?
Yeah, I also pulled, of course, as a collector. I have to pull, and I pulled him with 600 rubies. It was like, I was like, and good that I didn't just spend last to all my rubies. So I went this tour with like, I don't know, 30 rubies, and I did some pulls. The first 2 rounds, like I had to empty both pipes almost completely. Like the first round, the last 2 high ends where we did the last 2 items in the pipe, and then I did another round, and then after that I also almost had to empty. I think in the last 10 there were still like 3 high ends, and then I did like a few tenors, and then I got it started good. I got another Mario, then I got Larry in the pipe. So hashtag Larry is a good sign.
Larry is a good sign.
Then there was like a trash normal card, and then it was Mario King. So yeah, I'm happy because I have always bad feelings because I got the Toby balloons in the New Year's tour. It took me 1,080 rubies, and the when Charging Chuck was added with the gold Bullet Blaster, I got Charging Chuck, I think, like in 300 rupees. And then as a collector, I have to pull for the gold Bullet Blaster. So I got gold Bullet Blaster after like 1000 rupees. And doing that 1000 rupees, I just got one another time Charging Chuck. The rest was the other.
That's
but I'm happy that the pipes are going away, because then I don't really have to worry about non-spotlights and yes, the thing which was already mentioned, like it's a bit biased always to see like Edith posted a good message on StatFit servers, so it's very biased because people usually more post like if they're lucky and not if they are unlucky. So
that's a great point, man. I was going to just say, make sure you're paying attention not just to the people who had luck and using that as justification to go into this pipe, because you could be the one that's unlucky. And the reality is, like you say, people will be getting situations where they're not pulling him, and then they might not be sharing that because they feel upset or ashamed, or just annoyed and don't want to share that. So that's the reality of it. I just finished watching Kart Life's Sammy D's pipe pulls over on Kart Life. I don't think he got him. No spoilers, but he spent 450 rubies, and that was it. So he set a budget. I watched Carlos pipe pulls, and I think, does anyone remember how far through the pipe he had to go? I think it was more than 500. So it's the thing,
something like that.
Yeah.
And he pulled I think 2,000 rupees and got king 4 times only. So
not much.
Just to have like a perspective.
All right, guys, we're going to get into the next section of the video, which is the plus skill buffs. So we've had heaps of plus skill buffs this tour. Of course, it's always interesting because it's all city tracks, so it might not mean all that much. Really cool to see some old items get some value, though. We see Daisy Holiday Chair, we see Mario Chef getting some tracks. Of course, we've got our meta items growing more and more valuable. I love to see Pauline Party Time get a solid buff there on Berlin Biowaste 3R. Yet another nice coin box buff for Pauline Party Time for the ACR players. Question mark block and gold me getting that Tokyo Blur RT. So for those who don't have Hakama at a high level, or even if they do, if one of these drivers is invested on your account, that's a really huge boost and an exact reason why you would want to be using a me. They have the same size in terms of medium hitbox as Mario Hakama, and they've got those extra base points. So I know for me, I actually invested in the question mark block me this tour for my free-to-play account, which will take level 6 and double cap, but with those extra base points without even buying any extra me's. That's a massive value. So he's probably now my second best driver on my account, apart from Miyaza, who's level 7 and triple capped. So some really good value for those me's there showing up in ranked, which is really cool. We already mentioned Singapore Speedway 2 RT with that Daisy Tidress buff there as well. 3 buffs for Charging Chuck Gold, which is pretty big. Any on here you guys wanted to highlight before we move to the next slide? We've got 2 slides of buffs. Cool. All right, and we've got some Boomerang in there. That again, Singapore Speedway 2 RT with Luigi Vacation, Daisy Tidress, and also White Tanuki Mario. So I'm having some fun with Giant Banana in ranked this tour, which is really good. He also got the Amsterdam Drift 2 RT, which is fantastic because that's that ranked week 2 buff. We also got Pinja and Rosalina Chef. So it really brings credence to the idea that you need to spread some of your investments across multiple different skills. I've found that variety tends to be quite a good approach for me. So I'm investing into Coinbox, I'm investing into Giant Banana, a bit of Lucky 7, and a bit of Boomerang as well. If you invested into Pink Ninja Shy Guy, Rosalina Chef, and White Tanuki Mario, you're going to be upset this tour with 3 overlaps on the same course there, all in ranked. Other than that, some real solid buffs for PD Piranha with 4 tracks. He hasn't really had too much city value so far, so now we see a lot more of that. Along with Luigi Knight, brand new, not great for his starting value to see for buffs in a city tour. However, he did get that ranked buff, which is an exclusive plus skill track for him, which is fantastic. Anything to add on these buffs as well, guys, or any points to make around the buffs this tour?
Yeah, just a general thing. So that's also part of my sheet. So yeah, so in case people want to check out buffs from earlier tours, they can also do that on my sheet. Yeah, but the sheet is the buff sheet is not that good looking, because it's more like so that I can easily, or Flow can easily screenshot it and then cut out the picture. So the experience will not be that good, but in case someone wants to see like the buffs, I don't know, from the Tokyo tour, then I guess it should work. Yeah.
Nice. Yet another reason to use Larry's sheet. Awesome. Cool. All right, and then we've got the hot list. So for those who might not know, Ticket Time gets updated every tour on the web app, which we'll put the link in the description. Part of that is the tour hot list, which outlines all the drivers, same as Larry's sheet does as well, with the items which have the best ACR and ranked appearances. We like to look at it with a scoring system here, where we give extra value to the ranked appearances. Realistically, you're going to be investing into the items which are showing up in ranked and in ACR. So really solid start there for Mario King, with 12 ACR appearances and 4 of those being in ranked. One key thing to be aware of is with the 8 new courses, 6 of those, the new Berlins and the new Sydneys, are showing up 2 times each. So if you can get great loadouts there, then that will be your key to your ACR strategy this tour. Yoshi Kangaroo got a good got a good appearance rate this tour as well, with that ranked appearance, which is a pretty solid, unique appearance, apart from Mario King being the only plus skill driver there as well. Lots of me suits, which is quite interesting to see in ACR this tour. Then we've got the karts for this tour as well. Really solid tour for the Cupid's Arrow, which is good to see. It's been a little bit off the radar, but it looks like it's come back. It's actually got a decent amount of cities amongst its retro value as well, but quite a valuable kart there. Yeah, some other good ones. Warrior Wagon and Flower Kart are pretty meta. Lightning Streamliner coming up. The Red Off-Roader, it's off to a really cracking start. And the Cact B. So for me, I have invested in Red Off-Roader, and now Cact B, I've actually invested into that this tour, which I was stoked about for Singapore Speedway 2 RT, hoping that one gets really good value in the future for my account. Cool. And then we've got the gliders. The White Waves Origami Glider topping off the list there with 3 ranked appearances, which is absolutely fantastic. Could be a really good glider to get in on if you need it. If you're going in on ACR this tour, it would give you some really good ranked coverage as well. Gold Cloud Balloons with 13 ACR appearances, so pretty big there. And yeah, Silver Surf Master really showing why it's such a valuable glider, even into a city tour. Really, really good coverage. It's fantastic on my account this tour. Any other items you guys wanted to highlight from the tour hot list? Awesome. All right. So I don't think there's been any changes to ticket time. Flo, did you just want to briefly mention anything that's coming up there?
Yeah, one small change has been added since it was. I also thought about it a while ago, and it was also suggested by some users. So what I now included is that additionally to the level and the cap of an item, you can also enter the sub-level in an additional column, and it will take that into account. So the gain per ticket will be even more precise if you enter those values. If you don't want to enter them, it's completely fine. You can still use it as before, but if you want to have the best results, then you can enter those values in an additional column. Ben's fork of the BGR tracker already has this additional column, and the other versions you can easily add it yourself, or of course the blank inventory that you can download on Ticket Time website, you can just fill it out there. There's also included.
Fantastic. That's a great feature, and shout out to MKT Ben for including that feature in his tracker. That's absolutely useful. So thanks Ben. Cool. All right, Flo, do you want to take us through the ACR upgrade rankings, which is looking at the top 15 items for drivers, karts, and gliders in the game right now for ACR? Take it away, Flo.
Yeah, sure. So I think there haven't been that many changes since, basically it's just city buffs. So there were a few items gaining a little bit more value, and a few other items losing some value because, some of their coverage is just getting older and older, so it's a little bit decreasing value. So as you can see here, Rosalina Volendam is gaining some value and overtaking Charge and Chuck, also due to the better skill, and PD Piranha as well, as we have seen for buffs. So that's why he's overtaking Yoshi Goldeck again, which was taken over, I think, last tour due to his amazing buffs on Luigi Raceway and so on. So I think that's it about the drivers. And,
Yoshi Kangaroo is amazing there with 40 tracks.
Oh yeah, yeah,
that's insane.
That's definitely worth to mention. So he made it to the 40 because the only other driver was Donkey Kong SNES Junior, Donkey Kong Junior SNES, but he has unfortunately no plus skill, so that's why he isn't appearing on that list, since he's not that useful as a plus skill driver in ACR.
Cool. All right, moving to the karts.
Karts. We have a little bit of movement since we have some cards losing some value. Green Yellow Kapsu Kart, Armored Rider, Silver King didn't get the buffs, and since their buffed tracks are getting older, that's why they are a little bit decreasing on that list. Apart from that, also not that much of a movement as in comparison to the last tours. It's interesting that Shield Speedster is still at the same position. So of course it had a strong start. We didn't see any more non-city tracks, so it still is more or less assumed the same value. It got a nice amount of city tracks, so that's why it's still at position 9. So
it demonstrates how much things might shift quite a lot next tour if we get a whole bunch of retros and things. That could go way up or way down. So, it's just, still unclear what the value of that item is. Yeah,
and I think that's already it about the cards.
I thought it was quite interesting to point out how Warrior Wagon has 31 courses compared to Armored Rider's 23. Is there quite a lot of city courses in the Warrior Wagon's value? No.
Not that many, if I'm not mistaken. So, for example, it got Tokyo Blur RT. It also got some Bangkok tracks, but I think the Warrior Wagon has really collected a lot of older tracks like Kalimara Desert, for example, but also got some nice new buffs. And Armored Rider had some Pale World buffs, but apart from that wasn't collecting that many older tracks. I think there's a Luigi's Mansion, but that's almost it from the older tracks, and that's why the count difference of 8.
It makes me wonder how much more they'll buff Armored Rider, or whether they will, or whether they'll just keep it relevant for a longer period of time. But I think it demonstrates the difference between maybe like a pipe-locked item versus a pack-locked, something that you have to pay real-world currency for. Then perhaps Armored Rider will keep getting buffed for a longer time, or perhaps not. So the Warrior Wagon, it's a huge win for that item, especially if you took it to a high level early on. Cool. All right, and moving on to the gliders.
Yeah, and even less shakers here, with one exception, which is the Wicked Topaz, which unfortunately didn't get a single buffs on the city tracks, and other gliders did, like for example the Pink Gold Meteors, which are also unranked in the first week on Sydney Sprint 3, apart from that, it's more or less the same list. We see Candlelight Flight still at number 1, got another buff on in ranked, as well as the Wonderful Wings. So those two gliders are really the best gliders at this point. Golden Wings not that relevant in ranked.
Probably finished
the last couple of tours, but it definitely has its value. And I think in the Bowser tour it was also twice in ranked. So no regrets if you invested in that glider. But the top 3, I think, are really amazing gliders. And the record setter is debatable because it has a great number of tracks, but they are also often easy to cover with some super gliders or other popular choices. So that's why I haven't seen that many people invested into the record setter.
Yeah, it's amazing to see Piranha Plant Balloons, Vanilla and Chocolate Balloons, and the Flying Flappers up there on that list so early. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to their value long term. But I'm stoked to see that Vanilla and Chocolate Balloons in there because I was really nervous about that one being I took it to level 6 and double capped it for my top 100 run. So could be actually quite valuable. It's had quite a bit of overlap with the Wonderful Wings, I've noticed. But other than that, it's been pretty good. It's showing up quite well. Yeah, and Wicked Topaz could be good, could be bad that it's dropped down because it's a city tour, right? So it might come back with a vengeance next tour and jump all the way back up again. So we'll have to see what happens. But a really, really solid list. It's amazing checking out those track counts. 8-bit Fireflower still relevant after all this time with 39 courses. So could be next tour that one breaks 40. I just started investing in that glider last tour with my free-to-play account. So it's still relevant even all of this time later. So it's pretty fascinating. Cool. All right. Well, hey, that's our list, guys. Would love to just have a quick chat as we finish with what investments are you making? What's gaining value for you? What are your ranked investments? How are your ranked matchups looking? And your ACR investments as well, though perhaps I don't know if any of us are going to be investing in anything for ACR this tour. Maybe we start with you, Larry. Tell us about your loadouts and what you're investing into this tour.
So yeah, I think I won't really investing this tour because I'm having a heavy pay to win account, so having good loadouts is not that difficult. And also, like if I would now invest into an item, then it helps me on that city course. But it's better to I would better invest then at a future time if like there are retro tracks in the rank cup and also the but maybe in case the matchup, like for now I haven't really looked at the tracks. I think I have 90,000 K this tour already. So I just did the today's challenge otherwise and pipe pulls, otherwise I haven't really done anything. But the matchup, the rank up matchup has I think the first has at 100K, so I'm not sure if that's high or not because of the city tracks, but yeah, I see. But I in case I need it, I have to invest because there's another knee suit I have to get as a collector. So yeah, in case then maybe I use a few of the tickets, but otherwise I would just save the tickets. Yeah, and going for top 1000 like I always do with my loadout, it's not a problem. And of course grinding player level, so yeah, that will be but so the 8 new tracks and then Tokyo Blur RT also is finally back, so I can also grind on that track player level. But there are still then 2 city tracks, 2 RT tracks I miss in total. Those are London Loop RT and Tokyo Blur 2 RT, but they are not here, so I still have to wait. And then there are also the 12 New York minute tracks. I still need the 1, 2, and 3 and all variants. Yeah. Then I would be done with player level on any track.
Wow, that's amazing, man. Nice work. Cool. What about you, Flo? Tell us about your rank plans and your investments this tour.
Yeah, so I will I will probably upgrade the Mario King, so not the M Satan, because it's also you can use him 3 times at level 6 and at level 8 unlock. I think it's not necessary. Apart from that, yeah, I will also just rather focus on XP grinding, and that's
Nice.
it for the tour.
Fantastic, man. Easy, yeah. So, I mean, for me, maybe I'm a little bit different. I did some investments for my free-to-play account this tour. So, question mark block me racing suit to level 6 and double capped it. I'm really stoked with that, especially because on my free-to-play account, I pretty much max everything out with taking it to level 6 and double cap. So after that point, it's kind of, that's as far as I take items. And with the Miis, that means I've got those extra base points. So it means that, he's going to overtake anyone else that I have. So that was for Tokyo Blur 2 RT, this tour, the normal one. I had Mario Hakama at level 4 and single capped, but I realized that, level 6 and double cap question mark block me is going to far outscore a Mario Hakama on that track. And then I also invested into is it the pipe buggy? What's that one called? The yellow big monster trucky one. That super kart on Tokyo Blur as well. That one there, I invested in that to level 7 and and triple capped it. Over the other supercar that showed up on that course.
The bolt buggy.
The bolt buggy, that's right. Yeah. So that
I'm using the Chrome. Okay, I will invest into the Chrome DK Jumbo because that's level 7. I will take it to level 8.
Nice.
The other supercar.
That was my other option, but I just noticed that the bolt buggy had some more courses, so that was the one I decided to invest into. For
I have it at level 2, so.
There you go.
Yeah. I think I got it like a few months ago for the first time, the bolt buggy, but I still need the Rambi rider, so that will be
the Rambi rider. Yeah, bring it back.
Item, yeah.
Nice. So that's pretty much me. I already had pretty good loadout for Singapore Speedway 2RT, which was good. Sydney Sprint 3, not really a good loadout there. I'm using pretty much low level items, and in particular I don't have a top shelf driver on my free to play, so I'm using question mark block meat again on the second shelf and just trying to get as many single coin boxes as possible. For my main account, I'm pretty much holding onto my tickets again, but I'm formulating a plan where I'll be investing into Charging Shark Gold. So the one thing I'm not sure of yet is whether I'll take Charging Shark Gold to level 7 and double cap him next week for ranked. He would be useful on that course where I think is it Los Angeles? Might be Los Angeles Laps. I think that's the one there where I could be investing for him. The thing is, I need to take him to level 7, not just level 6, to really get good value out of him. So I'm a little hesitant when I've already got, Ninja Shy Guy at level 6 and single capped. So we'll see what happens. But I definitely just prefer going for Koi Box over Boomerang as well. So cool. Awesome, guys. Hey, well, look, that's pretty much it on this episode. Thank you so much to Larry for joining. It's been a really fun episode, just getting to know your sheet and learning all about that. Really interesting tour. It sounds like we're all just going to be grinding player level. Go team auto clicker. Join our clan. Just kidding. Yeah, thank you to Larry for joining. Thank you for what you're doing with those slides that we could do, but also with your sheet. And I'm keen to get my hands on it and dive into things a little bit more. Maybe I'll be looking at Gold Charging Shark's value and just checking what courses he's got, which overlap with drivers I'm already invested into.
Yeah. Also, it's been a pleasure as always to join the game plan, and Larry's here, but nevertheless he really deserves a shout out because the sheet is amazing. I luckily could test it as a beta tester already a little bit in advance and see how all the things work. So feel free to check it out. It's pretty cool. You can do a lot of stuff. You will find something interesting for sure. You don't have to look at every single sheet or every single part of the sheet, but just look around and make the most out of it.
Very nice. And Larry, thanks for joining. I'll let you say goodbye to your fans and say any special shout outs or mentions you want to do as we finish.
So yeah, thanks for the opportunity to talk about my sheet. It's I waited so long for this day to be finally able to release the sheet. So yeah, I'm very excited, and all the ups and downs during the sheet creation. Like there were like days where I worked like 3 or 4 days, and at the end nothing really changed. Nothing was working. The sheet crashed and stuff like that. Or if you like the crazy days where I worked like I was like 8 hours or 10 hours on the sheet, and then and stuff like that. But now it's working good, and thanks again to all the beta testers who helped like giving feedback, and that will also continue in the future. Like even when the sheet is now released, the sheet is my list of things I want to add is so long, so it will be like the game where they will discount the game, and I'm not even done with everything I want to implement. Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited, and also that I think now the episodes, I don't know how long, longer than expected, but to talk just about the sheet, and today is like a very special day for me. So yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Yeah.
Massive congratulations to you, man. And thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to like the video, hit sub if you loved it, and join on the Discord. We'd love to come and play Wordle with us. Come have fun. Come and check out Larry's sheet over on Discord. So we hope that you finish out this tour well. We hope that you have some rubies left for whatever the spotlight shop is and how it shows up next tour. So yeah, good luck to everyone with preparing for everything that this new week and this new tour brings. And we'll see you next time, guys. Take care, everyone. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.